Industrial logistics is absolutely fundamental to the growth of UK PLC. We see it really as critical infrastructure. I think you saw during COVID, effectively industrial logistics became the fourth emergency service, but it was absolutely vital to what we did then, and I think that has helped it get the national recognition it deserves. I think I've been using the word, I'm cautiously optimistic. Certainly in terms of the industrial logistics market, we're seeing inquiries up around 30%. The big challenge is going to be, though, whether that converts into deals. So we are working really hard as a team to make sure we can land new customers into our buildings, but that focus on leasing for our business, that focus on landing new build-to-suits on our land is absolutely at the forefront of what we want to do. We're seeing the e-commerce businesses come back into the market. We hear, it's going to be a busy year for the likes of Amazon, but we're also seeing, interestingly, quite a lot of Chinese 3PLs, third-party logistics operators, coming into the UK to service their clients and the business that comes in from Asia and the Far East. We've been seeing some of the supermarket retailers really starting to regenerate their portfolios as well. So I think it's an exciting year to come. It's just a question of getting those deals flowing. And I think with that deal flow comes confidence, comes growth. We've just completed a 250,000 square foot mid-box scheme in Hemel Hempstead. The sustainability, those buildings are all EPC A+ rated. They all run on electricity, so we don't use any gas in those buildings. They've been constructed. It's our first ever project with electric arc furnace steel. That's a bit of a tongue twister, but that is the new steel that is going to be used in the UK. So in terms of carbon, there's considerably less carbon involved in that. And then you look at some of the wellness and well-being areas we've brought into those buildings. Every one of those buildings has a balcony. You wouldn't necessarily associate the offices of a warehouse building to have an area where people can break out, but we think it's really important for our customers to be able to give their employees the best accommodation they possibly can. There's an amazing opportunity with solar. Typically, a logistics building will use you could cover 25% of the roof in solar panels, and that will pretty much power that building. Great. But there's a real opportunity for the UK. There's another 75% of those roofs that could have solar on, but the challenges come about in terms of feeding back into the grid. We have an old grid. That's why the government's talking about investing in the grid, and for us, that is a massive ask of government to make sure that goes as quickly as it can be, because the opportunity is colossal. But also we need some sensible feed-in tariffs as well to make it economically viable to put those extra panels on the roofs. A lot of what we're talking about at the moment is what I touched on earlier, that piece around leasing and that it is more challenging than it's been for some time. Optimism in the market that we are seeing more interest, but that need to convert into deals. People, the bigger operators like Prologis are facing similar sorts of challenges at the moment, and we want to be doing what we do really well, which is getting on, bringing land through the planning process, delivering for our customers the most sustainable buildings we can in the market. We need the market to pick up that pace to make that happen, but I think it's moving that way. A lot of occupiers have had grey space, it's called, so vacant space within their buildings over lockdown. Some of that space we are now hearing is getting good levels of occupation, so I think the next stage is how that then filters out into the wider market. So cautiously optimistic is my phrase for MIPIM.